Where the City of Cape Town has announced the first steps to take over the rail network. Treasury has given Cape Town the go-ahead for a feasibility study. eNCA's Monique Mortlock is speaking to us now. She follows the developments around this particular story. No doubt a very positive move by Treasury in terms of establishing the feasibility study, only because there will be an increase in the efficiency of the rail networks.
Well, this is certainly the hope by the City of Cape Town, and this is something that they've been trying to do for a number of years. I remember back in 2016 or 2015 when I last spoke to former DA Ward Councillor Brett Herron, and he was talking about how the city has these big plans to take over the rail network because it believes it can do a much better job than Prasa can. And now we are here almost 6 years later, and the City of Cape Town has finally been given the green light by National Treasury to conduct this feasibility study. Now, what this study is it will allow the city to see how much is going to require to take over the rail network, which independent or which private sector players it can include to help it to run the rail function. And it really is part of the city's plan to create what it calls an integrated transport system, because what the city wants to do, or it's hoping to do, is to integrate all of the public transport network so that if, for example, you have one ticket to use the My City bus, for example, that one ticket will allow you to also then use the trains, and it will allow you to use a taxi. And this, so the feasibility study is really just part one. It's not to say that the city will be taking over the rail function, but it's definitely a step in the right direction for the City of Cape Town. And as we heard from Cape Town Mayor Jordan Lewis a little earlier, he said that the city is going to try to do with the rail network what it's been able to do with load shedding, where the rest of the country, for example, there are days when the rest of the country might be in stage 4, when we in Cape Town are fortunate enough to only be on stage 2, and that's thanks to that power that we get from the Steenbras Dam. So some good news for the City of Cape Town, but we will be interrogating the mayor even further about how long the study is going to take, and realistically and practically speaking, just how long do they envision it happening before we actually see an independent or for the devolution of the rail function, which is what the city is hoping for. But I believe he is still busy in chambers answering questions, no doubt, by councillors who will also want to know how this is going to work, and also how much the city is spending, and whether they are going to be transparent with the whole tender process.
That's absolutely a crucial point that you raised there, Monique, and it's something I wanted to raise with you, that should this feasibility study go through and it's all green lights for the projects to get underway, the tendering process, the costs, everything in this regard is going to be absolutely crucial, because as we've seen with many projects around the country, things go horribly wrong because funds go missing and the wrong entities end up getting tenders.
Exactly, Raf. And a little earlier in the chambers, there were protesters calling for an engagement, a face-to-face engagement with the Cape Town mayor, saying that they want to speak to him about affordable housing, about what the city, about the city's bylaws when it comes to the unlawful occupation of land, when it comes to issues of where the city is spending its money. And when I spoke to the protesters outside the chambers, because they were removed, one of them actually told me they are here to not only call for the scrapping of bylaws, but to find out where's the city's budget going to. Is the city's budget anti-poor or is it pro-poor? So all of these questions that these protesters also wanted to know are definitely questions that I will be raising with the mayor, because that was something that I found was missing. Just the overall costs of what this feasibility study is going to cost, and if it will be on the taxpayer's shoulder or whether they will be getting private investors to take part in this study.
No, thank you very much, Monique Mortlock. They're giving us an update on that feasibility study on the rail networks. Let's quickly